So your debit balance means all the assets, all the expenses and the losses, and the credit balance means all the liability and all the incomes and the gains. So then we have purchase account. So isn't spending or it isn't an expenses to the business. So we will write it under the debit side. Then advance from customers. So the customers, they paid the amount in advance, but still the goods are not been sold. It is a liability for the business. Hello dear students, welcome to the session. My name is Kupamdi, faculty in the Department of Commerce, Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. So we are discussing fundamentals of financial accounting for first sem BCom. So your first unit, conceptual framework of accounting. So in the today's sessions, we'll see how to prepare the unadjusted trial balance. So when we talk about the accounting cycle, the first step it is recording of all the transactions or identifying all the financial transaction, and then that will be journalized. So that is the journal entry that will be passed, and then from the journal entries that will be posted to the ledger. Then the ledger account balanced will be done. After that, to check what is the arithmetical accuracy, whether your total debit that is equal to total credit. So to check the arithmetical accuracy, so we will prepare the trial balance. So here in the today's sessions, we will discuss about what is trial balance, and we have the preparation of unadjusted trial balance, that is the preparation of trial balance before any adjustment, and after, sometimes after the year end, suppose if there is any unrecorded expenses or unrecorded transactions, for example any outstanding expenses or any prepaid expenses or any depreciation. Suppose if after the preparation of final account, if these transactions are there, how do we prepare the adjusted trial balance? So that we will see it in the today's session. So the first we'll see what is trial balance. So the main thing that is, after all the transactions that is journalized and posted to the ledger account. So the next thing it is, from the ledger account, all the balances that will be transferred to the trial balance to check whether your total debit it is equal to total credit. Total debit it is equal to total credit. So that means a trial balance, it is a statement that is prepared at the end of the year to check whether all your total debit that is equal to total credit, which shows the arithmetical accuracy of your ledger accounts. So here, what are the common debit side entries and the credit side items that we will have it in the trial balance? So you all already know what is the format of a trial balance. It is your serial number, then comes the particulars, then the debit amount column, credit amount column. The simple thing, whatever the account balance is there, we need to know which side that comes. So the common thing, always we need to remember, all the asset balances or all the assets or all the expenses and the losses, so that comes under the debit side. All the liabilities, that is the real account rule, all the liabilities and all the income and the gains, so that comes under the credit side. So we need to know the simple thing, your debit means it is all the assets and expenses and the losses. So credit means all the liability and incomes and gains. So these things that we need to remember when we prepare the trial balance. So here, when all the ledger account have been prepared and balanced off, so a list of debit balance and credit balance is prepared. So in the double entry system, so when we follow the double entry system, so always your debit must be equal to credit. To check whether the total debit that is equal to total credit, so we will prepare the trial balance. So what are the debit balance that we have and what are the credit balance that we have? So simple thing, as I said earlier, so your debit balance means all the assets, all the expenses and the losses, and the credit balance means all the liability and all the incomes and the gains. So that is a simple thing. So here specific items that is given which comes under the debit side and which comes under the credit side. So first, it is the bank. So obviously the bank balance, so that is one asset. So that comes under debit balance. Then we have debtors. So that is considered as an asset, where the customers are going to pay later to the business. So that is the debtors value, definitely one asset to the business. So that you will write it under debit side. Then we have drawings. What is drawing? So the drawing simply the amount withdrawn from the business for the personal use. So any cash or the amount which is withdrawn or used by the business for the personal purpose or the personal work, so that we call drawings. So obviously for the business, it is a cash moving out, means for the business it is an expenses. So that's why we'll write it under debit side. Then we have loan given. That means any investment made in any other companies or any other bonds. So that is an investment. From the company side, one asset, you will write it under the debit side. Then we have prepaid insurance or other expenses. So any expenses which is prepaid, that means next year's expense, for example, the insurance. So the insurance premium for the next year, the premium amount paid in the current year. So that is the prepaid expenses. So that is considered as one asset to the business, where the next year they don't have to pay that expenses. In the current year only they have paid that asset paid that expenses in advance. So the prepaid or advance expenses paid always considered as an asset. So we will write it under the debit side. Then we have opening stock, obviously the stock available in the business in the beginning of the year. So that is the opening stock. So the stock may be the raw material which is needed for the production, or stock may be the finished goods which is available to sell. So that is considered as asset to the business. So that's why we'll write it under the debit side. Then we have purchases. So the purchases means what? It is the purchase of raw material or purchase of anything for the business. So when there is a purchase, there is spending of amount. So that means purchase always is an expenses to the business. So as I said earlier, expenses and the losses will come under the debit side of your trial balance. Then we have sales return. Sales returns means what? So usually the sales, it is one income or the revenue generating source. So always sales is an income that comes under the credit side. Sales returns means what? If the customers, they have returned the goods which is purchased from your business. So that means it is a reduction in the income of the business. So it is kind of a loss to the business. So that's why we will write it under the debit side. Expenses and the losses will come under the debit side. Then we have plant or manufacturing plant or the machineries required for the production. So that is the asset that we have. So we'll write it under the debit side. Then we have furniture and the cash. Always furniture and cash, it is an asset to the business. We'll write it under debit side. Then we have a goodwill. So the goodwill means what? It is the good name or the brand name of the business which can earn, or which because of that name the business can have an increase in the sales. So that is one asset. What is the name that they have in the market for their brand or for their business? So that is the goodwill. Consider it as an asset. So we will write it under the debit side. So then we have investment made in any other shares, bonds or any other company. So that is one asset. Then we have other fixed asset, the tools or the loose tools or the building or the vehicles or the equipment, any fixed asset of that business. So that comes under the debit side. Then we have the number of expenses which may see in the business during the normal operations of a business. For example, the wages paid to the employees, salaries paid to the employees, rent paid for any building, the taxes paid, and sometimes we can see the bad debts. So that is if the customers, they who have to pay to the business, if they have failed to make that payment, so that is the bad debts, one loss to the business. And then we have any other expenses and the losses. For example, the depreciation on fixed asset, definitely it is one loss to the business. So that the asset value, it is decreased. So we will write it under the debit side. So these are all the common entries or the common thing that we can see it under the debit side. So the common thing or the simple rule, whatever the asset of the business is there, both fixed asset, both current asset, all the asset of the business and all the expenses that they incur during normal course of a business. For example, the salaries, rent, insurance, interest paid, any kind of expenses or the discount allowed or the bad debts, and sometimes even the losses. For example, the depreciation. So these are the certain losses, all the expenses and losses that we will write it under the debit side. Now comes which are the entries that comes under the credit balance or the credit side we need to write. So the main thing, it is a capital invested by the owners. For the business, it is a liability. So the business, they have to own to the owners. So the liability, here capital, always it is a liability. So we'll write it under the credit side. So, and then we have a bank OD. Whatever the deposit you have, if you withdraw more than that amount, so that becomes the bank overdraft. So that is a liability where the company or the business, they have to pay to the bank. So that is a liability, we'll write it under the credit side. And then we have sundry creditors. So the sundry creditors means what? If you purchase any raw material from the supplier on credit, so that means you will become a creditors. You have to pay to the supplier in the future. So that means that is one liability for the business where they have to pay to the suppliers. So since it is a liability, we will write it under the credit side. And then we have any loan taken. Maybe the short-term loan taken from the bank or maybe through the long-term loan. For example, the debentures. So the capital raised through the debentures, so that means it is a loan or in the form of bonds or any loan taken from the others. So that will become, the business will become liable to repay that loan. Since it is a liability, we will write it under the credit side. Then outstanding wages or other expenses. Suppose during the current year, if any expenses which are not paid, for example, salaries to any employee for the current year, if it is not paid, so that is an outstanding expenses. So the outstanding expenses always, if next year the company or the business, they have to pay to the employees or they have to pay that such expenses. So always your outstanding expenses is a liability for the business. So that's why your outstanding expenses will write it under the credit side. Next, we have sales. So after all the liability we have entered, then comes the incomes and the gains. So that also comes under the credit side. So the sales means it is one of the main income generating source for the business. So that is their core operations or the core business. So any income received through the sales, so that is one income or the gain. So that we will write it under the credit side. Then we have purchase returns. So how it is in the credit side? So always purchase is an expenses that you will write it under the debit side. Suppose whatever the amount of goods you have purchased, suppose you have returned that to the supplier, that means your expenses, it is reduced. For example, 10,000 goods worth of goods you purchase. So 10,000 is an expenses. But later in that 10,000, 1,000 goods, if it is returned to them, means there is a reduction in your expenses. So that means your actual purchase here, it is 9,000. So the purchase return, it is one reduction in the expenses. That means it is a gain. So that's why we'll write it under the credit side. So then we have any discount received from any supplier or anything, so that it is an income to the business. So we will write it under the credit side. And then we have the dividend received. Suppose if the business is invested in any debenture or any shares of other company. So yearly, whatever the dividend received by the business, it is one income. So that's why we'll write it under the credit side. Then commission received. So during any normal course of business, any commission received in the form of cash to the business, so that is one income coming into the business, we'll write it under the debit side. So then we have interest received and other incomes received. For example, rent received or interest received. Suppose any other investment made in any other companies, bonds or the loans, if it is given. So on any interest earned on that loan, so that is an income to the business. So that we will write it under the credit side. Then we have provisions and the reserves. Important. For example, a provision is maintained for the depreciation. For example, provision it is maintained for the bad debts or the provisions on the doubtful debts. So these are the liability where the certain fund it is transferred to these provisions. For example, the bad debts. So it is a liability to the business. So the provisions and any reserves created, so that we will write it under the credit side. So these are all the common thing that comes under the trial balance. So the thing you need to remember, the four things: all the assets, all the expenses and losses, that comes under debit side; all the liability and income and gains, that comes under the credit side. So now we'll prepare or we'll see what is unadjusted trial balance. So usually here an unadjusted trial balance is a list of all the ledger account balance that is prepared before recording any adjusting entries to verify the arithmetical accuracy of the books of account. So here unadjusted trial balance, it is the preparation of trial balance before any adjusting entry. For example, a shopkeeper, he has closed his books of account on the 31st March, and then later, after he prepared the final account, he'll realize that there is some of the employees, the salaries to the employees that is not being paid. And one more thing, that is if their computers, the value it has decreased. So these are the depreciation. So for these adjustment, before passing these adjustment, what is the trial balance that we prepare? So that we call it as unadjusted trial balance. So that is before any adjusting entries, what is the simple transfer of the balance from the ledger account to the trial balance? That is the unadjusted trial balance. So we'll see one question. Simply we have the number of accounts balance that is given in the question. Simply we have to post to the trial balance. So see the question here. From the following ledger balance extracted from the books of Mr. Kumar, prepare a trial balance as on 31st/3/2023. So total ledger account balance here given here. So we have to identify which comes under the debit side and credit side, then we'll prepare the trial balance. See, first we have Kumar's capital account. Definitely capital is a liability. So that comes under the credit balance. So credit balance, always the liability. Business is liable to pay to the owners, the capital account. So the capital is a liability. Then we have land and building account. It is a fixed asset. So as I said earlier, all the asset that comes under the debit balance. So then we have plant and machinery account. So that is also a fixed asset. So that comes under the debit side or the debit balance. Then we have equipment account. So again, it is an asset to the business. So that comes under the debit side. Then we have furniture account. The furniture of a business, it is an asset to the business. Whatever the furniture they have, that is considered as an asset. So we will write it under the debit side of trial balance. Then we have cash in hand account and the cash at bank account. Both is the cash balance. One it is cash in hand 20,000, another that is cash balance at the bank. So both is considered as a current asset. So both comes under the debit side. Then we have Prajwal's account. Here specifically it is mentioned the Prajwal account, it is a debit balance. So which comes under the debit side. Then we have bills receivable account. So it is one current asset. You will write it under the debit side. So the bills receivable always an asset. Why? Because it is one written promise given by the customers to pay the amount or make the payment in the future date. So that means it is an asset because business has the right to receive cash in the future date. So that's why your bills receivable, it is one written promise given by the customers to pay the amount in the future date. So the amount, the business is going to receive the amount in the future. So it's an asset, you will write it under the debit side. So then we have opening stock, as I said earlier, opening stock always the asset, you will write it under the debit side. Then we have general reserves. So the general reserve, always the reserve created, that is a small portion of the profit or the part of profit is transferred to the reserve. So finally it goes to the owner's fund or the owner's capital. Since it is considered as a liability, it will come under credit side. So then we have purchase account. So is an spending or it is an expenses to the business. So we will write it under the debit side. Then we have carriage inward and the carriage outward. So both the thing it is, both the things are the expenses. So the carriage inward means what? When you purchase the goods or when you purchase the materials, whatever the carrying charges or the transportation charges paid, so that is the carriage inward. So one expenses. Again carriage outward means what? After the product is completed as finished goods and then transported to the distributor's place or to the showrooms during the sale. So that is the carriage outward. So both it is an expenses to the business. So that's why both will comes under the debit side. So next we have sales account. So it is one revenue generating, mainly income source. So it is comes under the credit side. Sales returns. Sales returns means once your income it is reduced or it is a kind of loss. So that means it comes under the debit side. Then we have purchase return. So the purchase is an expenses. So when your purchase return it is there, that means reduction in the expenses. So it is a kind of gain. So you will write it under credit side. Then interest paid. The business, they have paid interest maybe to the debenture holders or maybe to the bank for any loan taken. So that is the expenses to the business. So we will write it under the debit side. Then we have commission received. So the business, they are going to receive the commission, means cash is coming into the business, one income. So that we will write it under the credit side. Then we have discount received account. Again, it is an income. We'll write it on the credit side. Salaries paid. So the expenses that comes under the debit balance. Bills payable. So that is one written promise made by the business to the supplier. When you purchase the goods on a credit, you will give one written promise or the promissory note that you will pay the amount in the future date. So that means in the future, the business has to pay to the supplier. So one liability is there for the business to make the payment. So it is a liability, you will write it under credit side. Then Abhi's account here, that is there specifically mentioned, it is a credit balance. So you will write it under credit side. Then advance from customers. So the customers, they paid the amount in advance, but still the goods are not been sold. It is a liability for the business. It will come under credit side. Then we have drawings, one expenses. Then we have wages, expense. Then we have bad debts. Again, the customers who may not pay or fail to pay to the business, one loss to the business. Then we have advertisement account. Then we have postage account. Then we have office rent. Then we have insurance. Then we have miscellaneous expenses account. So all these are the expenses to the business. So all these are the expenses to the business. So that comes under the debit side. So these are the debit balance. So this is the items that account details that we have. So from this we have to prepare one trial balance. So see the solution part. So we'll see the trial balance as at 31st/3/2020. So the date here mentioned, it is 23/23. So simply we'll identify there and we'll transfer to either to the debit side or the credit side. So the first entry that we have, it is the Kumar's capital account 1,92,400. So that is Kumar's capital account. Amount is 1,92,400. One liability, so it will come under credit side. So second we have land and building, plant and machinery, equipment and furniture. So all other assets. So we have here land and building, building account. Then we have plant and machinery account, plant and machinery account. Then we have equipment account. Then we have furniture account. Then we have cash in hand. Cash in hand account. Then cash at bank account. So the amount here, all other assets that we have. So 90,000, 20,000, 10,000, 20,000, 20,000, 30,000. So that is all the debit balance, 90,000. Then we have 20,000. Then we have 10,000, 20,000, then 20,000. Then we have 30,000. So these are all the assets that we have. Next, here we have Prajwal's account, again it is a debit balance 20,000. Then bills receivable account, again it is 20,000. Then opening stock account, again it is 30,400. All are the debit balance. So we have Prajwal's account. Prajwal's account. Then we have bills receivable account. Then we have opening stock account. Opening stock account. So the amount here 20,000, then 20,000, 30,400. So next we have here, then we have the general reserve account that comes under the liability. So that is 1,07,600. Next we have general reserve account. General reserve account, always it's a liability that comes under the credit side. So the amount here 1,07,000, 1,07,600. 1,07,600. So next we have here, after general reserve, purchase account 40,000, expenses comes under debit side, carriage inward account, carriage outward account, all other expenses. So here we have purchase account, we have carriage inward, then we have carriage outward. Carriage outward account, all other debit balance. So the purchase amount 40,000, carriage inward account 32,000, then we have 28,000. So the next we have here sales account, sales return account. Sales is an income, so that comes under the credit side. So the sales account amount here 19,666. 19,666. Then we have sales return. Sales return account, that is when a reduction in the expense or reduction in the income, so that is a kind of loss. So 11,444 comes under the debit side. So 11,444 comes under the debit side. So then we have purchase returns account. Purchase returns account. So the amount here it is 40,000. So the purchase return means it is a reduction in the expenses, so kind of income. So we'll write it under the credit side 40,000. Then we have interest paid account 8,222. So the interest paid account, one expenses. So the interest paid 8,222, one expenses paid. Then we have commission received, discount received, both is a income. Then we have commission received. Commission received account, then discount received account. Received account, both is an income, so we'll write it under the credit side. So the amount here 10,000 and 10,000. So the next we have here salaries account, bills payable account and Abhi's account, all other credit balance. So we have salary account. Then we have bills payable account. Then we have Abhi's account, that is a credit balance. Credit balance. So the amount here 20,000, 26,600. So that is 20,000. Salaries and expenses is a debit balance. Then bills payable account is a liability. So you will have under the credit side So the amount here, it is 26,600. Then we have Abhi's account credit balance. It is clearly given. It is one credit balance 44,444. Then we have here advance from customers 5,556. That is also liability. Advance from customers account. Advance from customers account, that is 5,556. 5,556. Then we have drawings, wages, ad nets, advertisement, postage, office rent, insurance and miscellaneous expenses. All these are the expenses which comes under the debit side. So here we have drawings account. Then we have, next we have wages, bad debts, advertisement, wages account, then bad debts account, then we have advertising account. So next we have postage account, office rent account and insurance. So the postage account, postage account, then we have office rent and insurance. Office rent and insurance. Insurance, last expenses that we have, it is miscellaneous expenses account. So miscellaneous expenses account. So what is the amount given here? That we will write all the amount in the debit side balance, because all these are the expenses. So 20,222. So drawings 20,222. Then we have 10,444. 10,444. Then we have 1,000. Then 10,444. 10,444. Then we have 2,440. 2,440. Then we have the amount here 25,890. 25,890. Then 9,560. 9,560, last one it is 600. So we have written all the expenses amount in the debit side. So now we have done with all the entries. So now we'll do the totaling. So the debit side here 90,000 plus 20,000 plus 10,000 plus 20,000 plus 20,000, then 30,000, then 20,000, 20,000, then 30,400. Next we have 40,000, then 32,000, 28,000, then 11,444, 8,222, then 20,000, 20,222 plus 10,444 plus 1,000, 10,444 plus 2,440 plus 25,890 plus 9,560 plus 600. So here total comes to 4,80,666. So now we'll check the balance under the credit side. So here we have capital amount 1,92,400 plus we have 1,07,600 plus we have 19,666. Then we have 40,000, then 10,000, then 10,000. Then we have 26,600, then 44,444, then 5,556. So here we have 4,80,666 and we'll add here in the question we have a difference. So that means we'll add here the creditors balance. So your creditors account, it is 24,400. So that creditors will write it under the here credit balance. So the creditors account 24,400. So the difference deficit that we considered as a creditors, which is not given in the question, so we'll consider it as a creditors, which is 24,400. So the balance credit side will be 4,80,666. So this is your total debit balance and the credit balance. So this is how we need to prepare the trial balance, which is unadjusted trial balance. So this is all about the today's session. So in the next sessions, we'll see how to prepare the adjusted trial balance. So when the adjustment are given, how to prepare the adjusted trial balance. So that we will discuss in the next session. So this is all about the today's sessions, and I hope you all understood how to prepare the trial balance. So we all meet in the next session. Thank you.